Coming up next, Rwl Sn Rl from Atlanta, Georgia.
One, two, three, four. Burn it down! Burn it down! Burn it down!
Hi friends, fans, and fam. Saturday night at Ringside Live is in the ATL tonight, just 48 hours from the Snarl and Rage Memorial Day card. Welcome, gang, to tonight's Rwl Sn Rl in Atlanta, Georgia. Wally Cardell, Johnny Bianco, and GM Tex Lynch here, and there sure is a lot going on as we draw closer to Tampa, Florida, the site of the Memorial Day card.
And while we're here right now, there's plenty going on backstage and behind the scenes that will not only shape events here tonight, but in Tampa on Monday. But that just translates into 2 hours of amazing RWL mat action for you folks watching at home.
Wally and GB are absolutely right. How you doing tonight, folks? Glad you're here. Oh, it is going to be a great night of Snarl action just ahead of the Monday Memorial Day Snarl and Rage Supercard, and oh, that's going to be even wilder.
So come join us, kick back, relax, and enjoy tonight's Rwl Sn Rl.
Right you are, fellas, and we are starting off tonight's Snarl with Ladies Division action. Patriotic Pam Parsons, all set to compete against the Golden Goddess Titania Tatiana. And as Pam Parsons makes her way into the ring, let's turn it over to ring announcer Buck Morton.
Welcome, fans. Tonight's opening contest is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first from Huntington Beach, California, America's sweetheart, patriotic Pam Parsons.
3P, America's Sweetheart, back with us after a couple of months. Her last encounter having been with Yankee Rose, Georgia, Washington. But Pam's doing what she usually does, putting the past aside to focus on the present. And Pam's here and now is about to include Titania Tatiana, a queen of Maine, if ever we had one.
Titania and her lapdog Showbiz both seeing action tonight in singles competition. Pam's rooted Titania before, and there's no reason not to think she won't do it again tonight.
Yeah, Pam Parsons, patriotic Pam Parsons, certainly has a way of making the fans stand up and salute, don't she?
And her opponent from West Hollywood, California, the Golden Goddess, Titania Tatiana.
I suppose Showbiz is getting ready for her match later on tonight. So Titania Tatiana making her way out here to ringside all by herself. But, well, one of hers plenty, especially as far as patriotic Pam Parsons is concerned. And this is going to be, well, like I've said, they've met before, and Pam's beaten her. But, well, sometimes Titania Tatiana rolls up in a bad mood. Okay, well, Pam Parsons, with all the tools she needs to defeat Titania, well, she is primed. Oh, this is going to be a great card opener. Referee Charles Lucero rings the bell. Titania, Luthez press hard right hands to the head of Pam Parsons. Pam quickly back standing up. Hard right stuns her again, a chop across the face and pitched by her hair towards the far corner. Titania Tatiana starting out real aggressive here. Titania has her up, slams Pam Parsons right down to the ground again. Titania gathers Pam Parsons up into a painful backbreaker. Man, Pam Parsons struggling to get to her feet. Titania Tatiana, oh man, she is definitely heated. Hard right. Pam Parsons counters with a kick to the midsection. And a running bulldog. Face first into the canvas goes Titania. Center ring. Pam slams her head down on the canvas. Pam Parsons with a little momentum shift here, but hold on a second. Titania puts on the brakes with a belly-to-belly suplex, follows it up with a stomp to the midsection. Pam Parsons catches a double axe handle, which pummels her right back towards the canvas again. Titania rounds Pam up, slams her head down again. Real aggressive today. Pam Parsons ducks out of the way, delivers a couple of kicks to the leg of Tatiana. Snapmare and a kick to the back. Titania brought back to her feet by Pam Parsons. Pam sets it up, swing dang neckbreaker. Oh, that was beautiful. Pam rounds Titania back up again. Oh, try for the neckbreaker again, but Titania said, no, you don't. Oh, yes, I do, she said. Pam Parsons absolutely not being denied here. Patriotic Pam Parsons rounds her up. Whoa, one arm slams her face first into the mat. And now Pam Parsons starting to pull away here. Kick to the midsection from Tatiana. Misses with the running clothesline. Oh, look at these two doing a little bit of dancing here. Russian leg sweep. Takes Titania down. Pam Parsons stopped cold and a slap to the face, stuck in the corner and catching a boot to the throat from Titania. And, oh, a butt splash from Titania. Tatiana drags Pam Parsons center ring, covers 1, 2. No. Pam Parsons kicking out of that one. Tatiana rounds Pam Parsons back up. Sets it up. Oh, man, that's not going to be good. Has her up over in the fisherman position, over the shoulder, taking a little bit of a march here, and there's that running Samoan drop that she does so well. There's the cover. 1, 2, 3. Well, that one's a wrap. Tatiana defeats Pam Parsons by pinfall.
The time, 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, Titania. Titania sure rolled up in a bad mood tonight, and Pam Parsons caught the worst of it. In just 1 second short of 5 minutes. A simple case of Pam Parsons just not being able to build enough momentum against the Golden Goddess. So, now I'm wondering how her partner Showbiz will do in her match later on. Titania was absolutely ruthless in this matchup.
Titania with an upset win over Pam Parsons, and there's lots more snarl coming up right after the break. Coming up, here's a singles match that our Mr. Lynch is gonna definitely enjoy.
Why?
It's a battle of the Texan Cowboys as Big Bob Duncombe has an in-ring showdown with Best of the West Jim Dandy Deacons.
Oh, well, that does sound pretty good.
Introducing first, accompanied by Dirty Dutch Mantel from Laredo, Texas, weighing 262 pounds. Here's Big Bob Duncombe.
Oh, not exactly sure where Dirty Dutch Mantel has been hiding himself, but he's back tonight. Ready to back up Big Bob Duncombe at ringside. He's got to be pretty happy. Prime time Bobby Mills won his match at Rage the other night, so the Unholy Trinity seems to be doing not too badly for themselves at the present time.
Man, to Texans, to Cowboy Texans at that. Your loyalty must be all over the place. So, who are you favoring in this duel?
No, my loyalties aren't all over the place, GB. My loyalties definitely lie with Jim Dandy Deacons of Best of the West. I have a great deal of respect for Big Bob Duncombe, just not the way he does business.
Seems like the members of the Unholy Trinity and Best of the West could be the most natural enemies since a mongoose and a snake. Watch for Dirty Dutch to live up to the nickname, no doubt offering assistance to Bob Duncombe.
His opponent, representing Best of the West, and accompanied by our WL Mid-South champion, Billy White Moon, from Houston, Texas, weighing 256 pounds, Jim Dandy Deacons.
The Mid-South champ, standing ringside with Jim Dandy tonight, but Billy White Moon will be defending the Mid-South belt Monday night at the Memorial Day card, and naturally, Billy is concerned with Monday night. But putting that aside for this evening, as he supports his tag team partner in this dust-up with Bobby Duncombe. What a time for Dutch Mantel to decide to come out of hiding. Couldn't possibly be worse for Best of the West.
Yeah, Wally, you know Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will, and at the worst possible time. But I'm sure Best of the West will find a good workaround. Man, Big Bob Duncum looking primed and ready to go here as Willie Johnson sounds the bell. Late comes center ring, hard rights. Countered by Jim Dandy Deacons. Bobby Duncum whipped to the far corner. Goes behind on Jim Dandy. Spins him around. Hard whip to the ropes. Duncum ducks under. Jim Dandy counters. Gets him up over the shoulders. And look at this. A little bit of an old school classic right there. The old airplane spin. And down goes Big Bob Duncum. Brain scrambled and all. Back body drop for Jim Dandy. Big Bob Duncum perhaps not as scrambled as I thought. Jim Dandy counters with a right. Winds up the arm of Big Bob Duncum. Duncum counters with an elbow to the head. Here, whoa, a couple of quick jabs you didn't even see fall. Wow. Duncum whipped to the far corner again. Jim Dandy drives an elbow into the chest and drops him. Dutch Mantell got to be a little bit concerned at this point. You can see it. He's a little bit worried. Bobby Duncum getting his head twisted off over here by Jim Dandy Deacons. Once more, Deacons with Duncum up over the shoulders. This time, Snake Eyes right into the top turnbuckle in the far corner, running cowboy boots to the chest. Yeah, you ain't kidding this one. Oh, man. Dutch Mantell looks like he's trying to get his 2 cents in, and a slam to the back of the head for Jim Dandy Deacons by Big Bob Duncum, who's working in a stump puller on the... Oh, man. Dutch Mantell hadn't forgotten how, even after all this time away, brings a steel chair into the ring. Bobby Duncum with a kick to the midsection. A counter by Jim Dandy Deacons. Duncum slams him down with a Michinoku driver, covers the leg one, but only a one. And barely just a one, too. Jim Dandy rolls out onto the floor. Takes himself back inside. Bobby Duncum whipped into the corner, a clothesline to the back. Down goes Big Bob Duncum as Jim Dandy Deacons covers one and just a one. Again, only barely just a one. Both these guys still got way too much steam in the tank. Bobby Duncum slips behind a Russian leg sweep on Jim Dandy. Not a bad counter by Big Bob Duncum. Clothesline takes Jim Dandy Deacons down, followed up with a stomp to the back of the head. A flip over neck whip from Big Bob Duncum. Oh, here we go. The unholy trinity up to their usual tricks. Bobby Duncum exposing the steel on the turnbuckle. Jim Dandy with a kick to the midsection. Oh, clothesline didn't work. He winds up getting hung up on the top rope. Jim Dandy rounded up by Bob Duncum. Turns him around, neck breaker. And here we go again. And he's going to expose all 4 of them things by the time he's done. Big Bob Duncum rounds up Jim Dandy, looking to whip him into one of those corners as Willie Johnson gets rid of that chair. Shots to the midsection from Jim Dandy to Bobby Duncum. Look at this. Setting him up. He's got him up. There's a pile driver. Boom. Bobby Duncum caught all of it. Rolls out quickly. Rolls back in. Hoping for a reset here. Jim Dandy whipped to the far corner. A clothesline takes him down center ring. Big Bob Duncum with a single leg crab on Jim Dandy. Billy White Moon rallying his partner here as Jim Dandy gets back on his feet, delivers a kick to the chest. Big Bob Duncum follows it up with a stomp to the midsection, drives a knee into the back of Big Bob Duncum. Jim Dandy Deacons drags him center ring, goes for the cover and hooks the leg one, and again barely just a one. Wow, these guys are not giving up easy. Swing and a miss with the kick. Bobby Duncum countered with a kick to the back of the leg from Jim Dandy. He's got him all the way up. Atomic drop. And Willie Johnson's got one of them turnbuckles back in. Jim Dandy Deacons with a series of quick jabs. Whoa, man, 5 jabs. Little fancy footwork and 2 shots straight to the chest. Down goes Big Bob Duncum. Jim Dandy Deacons. Oh, well, that's not going to work. Dutch Mantell distracting Willie Johnson, so he can't make the count. Up over the shoulders goes Jim Dandy, elbows to the side of the head of Big Bob Duncum. Another jab, a bionic elbow to the head. He is busted open, Bobby Duncum. Here's a cover. 1. But, wow, Dutch Mantell practically trying to pull either Jim Dandy or Bobby Duncum out of the ring. Jim Dandy, annoyed but undaunted, takes himself all the way up to the top turnbuckle. Boom! Big time crossbody right across the gut of Big Bob Duncombe. Jim Dandy Deacons covers and hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. Call this one a wrap. Jim Dandy Deacons defeats Bobby Duncombe by pinfall. Let's get the official time.
The time, 5 minutes and 21 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, Jim Dandy Deacons.
Okay, this Cowboy Showdown was a fire that burned very brightly, but only for a short time. Duncombe and Jim Dandy swapping momentum shifts back and forth, insanely fast, and it was pretty much anyone's match to win. But Jim Dandy Deacons spots a single mistake by Big Bob Duncombe and turned it into a 3-count pinfall win for himself. And best of the West.
I've taken a real shine to Deacons, Billy White Moon, and Tex McKenzie. Man, if he had been at ringside instead of White Moon, Tex might have passed out from Texan overload.
Yeah, I might have just done that. We'll be right back with more RWL Snarl right after the break. Stick around.
Okay, so what did O'Toole say? Wasn't too hard on you, was he?
He was very polite, didn't raise his voice one time, but I'll never insult a referee again. He let me know where I messed up. No fines, no being transferred to Rage, but now, I've got a match tonight.
Tonight? But what about the rematch with the Angels? And a match against who?
The match is with Showbiz, and I guess that's my punishment for stepping out of line. I didn't dare ask him to reconsider. He was polite, but I know he was pissed off.
It's okay. You'll handle Showbiz, and we'll be just fine for Monday. I got your back, D.
That's not all. I've got to find Rothburn and apologize. Seems like I've disrespected more than a few people around here. I feel lucky I wasn't stripped of any titles. I'm sorry, Pats. I hope I haven't messed things up for us.
Don't worry too much. It's just one match, and it's Showbiz. You got this.
Hope so. Anyway, let me go find Rothburn and get my gear on. I'm really sorry, Pats.
As Snarl continues, it's cruiserweight action up next with SP1 Scotty Priest in his match with the masked Boricua, LV Gigante.
Man, GB, your Spanish certainly has improved.
The following contest is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Glen Burnie, Maryland, weighing 196 pounds, SP1 Scotty Priest.
Okay, this match, or rematch I should say, requires a short recap. 3 weeks ago, SP1 and Gigante met here on Snarl, with the masked Boricua getting the 3-count win, but Priest has absolutely insisted on invoking the rematch clause in their contract. With the former double champion SP1 on a sacred mission to at the very least, even the score with LV Gigante in serious need of a win to push his momentum in the right direction.
His opponent from Loiza, Puerto Rico, weighing 189 pounds, El Gigante. Hey, if my Spanish has gotten any better, Tex, it's been hanging around me. But El Gigante has sure been making tracks since he returned earlier this year, and he's already taken on several other cruiserweights, and comes into Atlanta tonight with a really good win-loss record, and he'd love to shut down Scotty Priest a second time.
Well, El Gigante is certainly capable of doing that. Let's see if SP1 Scotty Priest is capable of preventing it. I'll tell you guys, I do love watching the cruiserweights work. These guys are absolutely amazing. SP1, Gigante ready to go. Charles Lucero rings the bell. There's a Hurricane Rana from El Gigante right out of the gate. Beautiful moonsault. SP1 knocked into the corner, counters with both feet, gets out of the corner. El Gigante stunned pretty good. Locks up SP1. Oh man, beautiful wraparound DDT from the masked Puerto Rican sensation. El Gigante snaps the leg on SP1. And another beautiful standing moonsault. Scotty Priest, already having his troubles in the first half minute, shoves El Gigante back. Locks him up. El Gigante escorts him towards the ropes. And now the masked Puerto Rican sensation whips Priest to the ropes and a beautiful drop kick and a beautiful, oh man, he stuck the landing and everything. SP1 getting rope choked over here by El Gigante. A bit uncharacteristic. Oh, the middle rope bulldog for SP1 from El Gigante. He drives a knee into the head of SP1. Delivers a soccer kick to the midsection. El Gigante with a clothesline. Follows up with a second one. SP1 gets the brakes put on him, gets the leg swept, and El Gigante is not doing too badly right here, huh? Okay. El Gigante locks up SP1. SP1 counters with a kick to the midsection, takes him down. El Gigante getting back to a standing position. Priest fails to connect with that heel kick. Flies up the arm, slams Gigante down to the canvas just the same. Gigante counters with a kick, gets back up on his feet. SP1 laid out center ring, counters with a kick, stands up, locks up SP1 with a kick to the knee. And what are we going to see here? Oh, wow, that was cool. Did you see him do that? That was a beautiful German suplex from Scotty Priest. SP1 drives all his weight into the lower back of El Gigante, follows it up with a couple of kicks. El Gigante counters with a kick, delivers another. Locks up SP1, has him up for the long vertical suplex, but SP1 would rather not take the ride. Oh, chop block to behind the knee for El Gigante. A low drop kick that stunned El Gigante and a kick to the head that made sure he stayed stunned. A stomp to the shoulder. SP1 delivers a kick to the back. El Gigante gets a knee driven into his arm. SP1 working real strategically on the arms of El Gigante. I'd say nothing of his back, too. He's been delivering a lot of kicks to the back. A spinning put. Wow, he went down like a stone. SP1 again driving all his weight into the back of El Gigante. Rolls him over, goes the cover, hooks the leg. 1, 2. El Gigante just about getting that shoulder up. SP1 stomps the shoulder center ring. Really working on the arms of El Gigante. SP1 catches the kick to the head. El Gigante locks up. Catches the kick to the midsection from Priest. SP1 makes his way to the top turnbuckle. Whoa! Spun like a top. That was a beautiful senton. Here's a cover. 1, 2. Hey, Gigante still powering out. SP1 drives all his weight into the lower back again. Trash talking El Gigante as he falls on out to the ring at the outside. SP1. Look at this. El Gigante's not going anywhere. SP1 goes over the top and boom, turns himself into a human missile. Taken down by masked Puerto Rican sensation on the outside as the referee starts to count. SP1 delivers shots to the legs of El Gigante now. Gone from working to the arms to the legs. And if you can't walk and you can't fight, well, you damn sure can't wrestle. Oh, man, look at this. Stretching the legs of El... He is just having himself a great time, SP1. El Gigante struggles to find his way out. Delivers a right to the head of SP1. Locks up Priest. Gets him back inside the ring. And here he comes himself. El Gigante, whoa, catches a wicked kick that just busted him open. SP1 all the way up on the top turnbuckle. There's that beautiful spinning senton again, but no dice. El Gigante just gets out of the way. El Gigante, oh wow, just got countered by SP1. Priest quickly makes his way to the top turnbuckle, and here it is again. That beautiful spinning senton goes for the cover and hooks the leg. 1, 2. And 3, well, now SP1 and El Gigante tied at 1 apiece. Let's go get the official time.
The time, 5 minutes and 51 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, SP1 Scotty Priest.
I guess that in the mind of Scotty Priest, the sort of curse has been lifted by this pinfall win over El Gigante. And no kidding, Priest's performance had been a little bit hit or miss previously since Priest's feud with Tony Dangerous came to its end over the winter. I'm sure business is gonna pick up for SP1 going forward. Priest needed the win, and he got it.
Not only did he get it, he got it over some pretty game competition. The guy that beat him last time. Hey guys, tag team action. When we come back, don't go nowhere.
Let's talk about Dakota Kai. who's got back-to-back wins over both Patty Powers and Liberty Bell Danielle. Will Dakota nail a trifecta tonight? As she gets set to face women's international champion, the Memphis Million heiress, Jody Dvorak? Let's go find out.
The following non-title ladies match set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Auckland, New Zealand, here is Dakota Kai.
Well, guys, the crowd in Atlanta tonight, testing the limits of our hearing tonight. Like extra, extra loud. Dakota Kai's been on a roll since joining us here in our WL with a series of consecutive wins, 2 of them over both members of American Powers, and that's given Dakota quite a bit of confidence going into tonight's match with Jody Dvorak. And yes, a 3rd consecutive win is not an impossibility. Add to the mix, we haven't seen Jody a few weeks now, so there's no telling how prepared or unprepared she might be for Dakota Kai.
Her opponent accompanied by the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase from Montana, California, the reigning RW All-Women's International Champion, Whitman's Jody Dvorak.
Jay has been doing really well for herself this year. It all started with her win at Memphis Million last December, which led to her contract briefcase, cashed in against Angie Angel Guns, and winning the 2nd most valuable title in the ladies division, the Women's International Belt. But Dakota Kai could be the speed bump that slows Jody to a crawl.
This young lady's been on a hot streak. Let's see if Jody Dvorak is going to cool her off. Referee Willie Johnson rings the bell. Here we go. Kick to the midsection from Jody Dvorak. Locks up. Dakota Kai winds up the arm. Cranks it. Oh, she will not let go of the grip on that arm. She is twisting it as far as she can possibly get it. Jody Dvorak turns it around on her and slams her down with a sweep of the leg. Dakota Kai back up on her feet. They tussle. Jody shoves her back. Dakota Kai counters. Arm drag from Jody. The $1 Million Man, very happy to have the Memphis Millionaires back. Dakota Kai smashed headfirst into the turnbuckle, counters, puts Jody Dvorak in the corner, delivers a chop across the chest. Jody with an elbow to the leg and a clothesline that drops Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai sweeps the leg on Jody, takes her down, misses with the kick. Jody misses with the sweep of the leg, catches a running kick to the face from Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai taken down with an elbow by Jody. An elbow drop across the chest from Jody Dvorak. The Memphis Millionaires countered by Dakota Kai. Back up on her feet. Charges. Oh, whoa, what a drop kick that was. Jody Dvorak counters with a knee to the face of Dakota Kai. And quickly taking herself up to the top turnbuckle. And here we go. Whoa, what a hurricane run off the top rope. Depositing Dakota center ring. Jody covers. 1. But just a 1. Dakota Kai kicking out of the pin. Jody Dvorak driving elbows into the shoulder of Dakota Kai, center ring. Dakota Kai counters with a jawjacker, backs Jody off. Jody Dvorak whip to the far corner. Dakota Kai misses with the charge. Jody Dvorak's got her up. Dakota Kai quick with the counter, shoves her away. Clothesline takes Jody over the top rope and out onto the floor. Well, now Dakota Kai displaying some impressive skills in her last couple of matchups. Urging Jody Dvorak to get back in, decides to go out and join her instead. Jody Dvorak catches a forearm from Dakota Kai. An arm drag from Jody to Dakota. Jody Dvorak got a firm hold on Dakota Kai. Escorts her towards the barricades, but elbows to the midsection from Dakota Kai with the prevent. Jody driven into the ring steps by Dakota Kai. Dakota rounds her up again. Jody Dvorak quick with the counter. Catches a kick to the midsection from Dakota Kai. Both these ladies countering very well this evening. Jody makes her way back inside the ring. Oh, look at this. Little display of arrogance from Dakota Kai. That might cost her a pretty penny right here. Jody puts her up on the top turnbuckle, lays her out in a tree of woe and a drop kick right to the gut. takes Dakota Kai down. Jody rounds her up, puts her arms around her for the big belly-to-belly suplex. Jody Vorek covers. 1, 2, 3. Shut up! Jody Vorek wrapping up Dakota Kai pretty quickly right here.
The time, 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, Jody Vorek.
Well, all right, there you have it. The women's international champion Whip Kid and Jody Vorek picking up a win over Dakota Kai in pretty impressive and speedy fashion. And we'll be... hold on a minute. Jody Vorek taking a quick pause here. Oh, this ain't good. Oh, she just erupted. She is a broken refrigerator with no chill. The referee trying to get her to back the hell off. Wow. Jody Vorek's insane. We'll be right back with more RWL Sn Rl right after the break. Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, promises made and promises kept. Tag team competition up next. Double the Steiners with Scott and Rick, the Steiner brothers, facing Eddie and Ray, the Guns brothers. Well, now, a whole lot of brotherly unlove going on here.
This next tag team contest is set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first from Detroit, Michigan, and a combined weight of 560 pounds, Scott and Rick Steiner, the Steiner brothers.
Oh, man, I forgot about the Steiners and the loudest, most obnoxious entrance music in the entire world. Anyway, I'll just shout over those stupid sirens. Scott Steiner is fresh off a loss to Jinder Mahal at Rage and joins us here with the dog-faced gremlin Rick Steiner beside him, all set to try and get a win off the Guns brothers, Eddie and Ray.
And every single one of the guys in this match is a former tag team champion. No way does this match suck.
Their opponents accompanied by Angie Angel Guns from the Bronx, New York, at a combined weight of 475 pounds, Mr. Ringside Eddie Guns, and El Jefe Ray Guns, the Guns brothers.
Angie Angel Guns joining her dad Eddie and Uncle Ray at ringside tonight for this tag team dust up with the Steiner brothers and Mr. Ringside and El Jefe, certainly not intimidated by the Steiners or their reputation. Eddie and Ray may respect the Steiners and all they've done in the business, but it won't stop them from attempting to pummel the Steiners into submission.
Not as much fan support tonight for the Guns boys, with a lot of the people here in Atlanta supporting the Steiners.
All right, as we choose up sides here, it looks like it's going to be Scott Steiner and Mr. Ringside starting us off in this tag team matchup. The referee rings the bell. Oh, look at this. Eddie Guns off the ropes. Scott Steiner, what the hell is Scott Steiner doing to our referee? Oh, man, hung him up off the top rope. Well, he's in a bad mood. Guess he's still not happy about that loss to Jinder Mahal. Mr. Ringside escorts Scott Steiner to his team's corner. Delivers a series of kicks. Down he goes. Our referee is back. Oh, man. Scott Steiner getting the boots put to him. As Angie Angel Guns looks on as Pop drives knees into the chest of Big Papa Pump. Well, okay. Mr. Ringside drives a knee into Scott Steiner's arm, delivers a kick to the shoulder. Gathers Scott Steiner up slowly. Scott Steiner sweeps the leg, rounds up Mr. Ringside instead, goes behind, German suplex from the Big Bad Booty Daddy. Scott Steiner with a clubbing overhand right over Mr. Ringside, winds up the arm. There's an elbow drop across the back of the head of Eddie Guns. Scott Steiner turns it over to his brother. Here comes the dog-faced gremlin, Rick Steiner. Rick Steiner going to work on Mr. Ringside, delivers a series of kicks and stomps. Eddie Guns trying to fend him off, but no good. Rick Steiner with a leg snap. rounds up Mr. Ringside again. Has him up in the front cradle, has him up over the... Whoa! Pitched him right to the outside like a bag of trash. Rick Steiner going out in hot pursuit of Mr. Ringside. Drops the leg, but nobody home. Eddie Guns quickly getting up out of the way. Rounds up Rick Steiner, locks him up. Drives him into the ring steps. And he caught all the corners going down, huh? Eddie Guns takes himself back inside the ring. Rick Steiner moves back in after him. Look at this. A knee, a right, a left. Rounds him up, side suplex for Rick Steiner. Eddie Guns rounds him up. Takes him quickly down. And here we go, some schoolyard bully pummeling from Mr. Ringside on Rick Steiner. Eddie Guns takes himself out of the equation, and here comes El Jefe Ray Guns, Angie Angel Guns' uncle. And he rounds up Rick Steiner, snaps the leg again. Looks like they're strategically going to work on Rick Steiner's limbs. Whoa, here we go again, another leg snap. Followed up with a stomp. Oh, look at this. Rebound off the top rope, beautiful moonsault that destroyed the logo, but not Rick Steiner. Huh. Okay. Knee to the skull for Rick Steiner. El Jefe gathers him up again. Gets him up over the shoulders. Has him all the way up, and here's payback. Pitched him to the outside. Boom, right to the floor. Ray Guns admiring his handiwork. Rick Steiner's wrecked. Riggedy wreck. Huh. He ain't moving. Referee's counting. Ray Guns deciding what he's going to do here. All the way up to the top turnbuckle, Rick Steiner. Well, now there's another leg drop that didn't pay off. Well, your coccyx is going to hurt for a while now. Here comes Scott Steiner. Big Papa Pump. Facing El Jefe. They lock up. Kick to the midsection from Scott Steiner. Scott's got him all the way up, setting him up for the powerbomb. Escorts him towards the edge, and one more time. Oh, man, not once but twice. El Jefe pitched to the outside over the top rope by the Steiner brothers. El Jefe's not going to appreciate that. In over the top rope. A hard right to Scott Steiner. A rebound off the ropes. And whoa, look at this. A wheelbarrow bulldog. Beautifully executed by El Jefe. A stomp to the shoulder of Scott Steiner. The big bad booty daddy starting to take a little bit of punishment here. Counters. Delivers the chop block to the knee. Takes down El Jefe. Scott Steiner rounds up Ray Guns. Oh, look at this. Whoa! Countered beautifully with a one-arm slam. And here comes Eddie Guns. Scott Steiner laid out center ring. Rebound off the top. There's a moonsault that sure paid off. Oh, well, yeah, like I said, the Guns brothers are all out of patience, and we're only a few minutes into the match. Here comes El Jefe again. Scott Steiner just got himself choked by Mr. Ringside. Catches a kick to the back and a stomp to the midsection and a stop kick to the chest. El Jefe rounds up Scott Steiner. A rebound off the ropes. Gets him by the ankles, and there's the whirly gig. Big Papa Pump goes for a ride. Ray covers one, but only a one. Scott Steiner not prepared to give up just yet. Rick Steiner's hot for that tag. He's reaching for his brother. Here's a kick to the back from El Jefe. Ray Guns rounds him up. Up in the front cradle, slams his back into the apron, spins him out center ring right into the heart of the logo. Stomp. Ray Guns rounds him up again. Scott Steiner counters, slams El Jefe face first into the canvas. Scott Steiner rounds him up. Look at this. Bad news, pump handle slam. And here comes Rick Steiner, the dog-faced gremlin again. Whoa, back body drop for El Jefe and a kick to the back of the head from Rick Steiner. The dog-faced gremlin with a spinning neck breaker on El Jefe. Gathers him back up again. Locks him up. This ain't gonna be good. Has him all the way up and a long vertical suplex. Takes El Jefe right down to the canvas again. Rick Steiner drives an elbow into the head of Ray Guns and drives a knee into the head of Ray Guns for a good measure. The dog-faced gremlin pitches him up and slams him down. Here's Scott Steiner again on the tag. El Jefe trying to beat it out of town. Here comes Mr. Ringside on the hot tag, and well, let's see where this goes. Scott Steiner with a kick to the midsection. Sets him up another side suplex. Scott Steiner gathers up Mr. Ringside, locks him up, escorts him towards the Steiner brothers' corner, head first into the turnbuckle. And here we go. Scott Steiner's warming up that elbow. Boom, clothesline right across the throat of Mr. Ringside. And here comes Rick Steiner again. Both teams tagging real efficiently. Rick Steiner rounds up Mr. Ringside, has him all the way up. There's another long vertical suplex from the dog-faced gremlin. Rick Steiner drops an elbow into the head of Eddie Guns. Rick Steiner with a stump puller, stretching the leg of Mr. Ringside. Eddie Guns needs to get out of this situation. Finally succeeds in doing it. Kick to the midsection for Rick Steiner. A knee, a right, a kick, and a spinning kick that drops him like a bad habit. Rick Steiner now on the receiving end, getting knees to the leg from Eddie Guns. Eddie makes his way out, and here comes El Jefe Ray Guns. Rick Steiner favoring that knee. He got tagged pretty good. Oh, here we go. Mr. Ringside and El Jefe rallying the crowd here. Beautiful kick right to the head of Rick Steiner. And a Hurricane Rana from El Jefe, who covers and hooks the leg. 1, 2, but, well, Scott Steiner right there to break it up. Kick to the midsection for Rick Steiner. El Jefe with a DDT on Scott Steiner. Both Steiner brothers taken down by El Jefe. Here's a, double leg drop to Rick Steiner. Scott Steiner with a right puts El Jefe up against the ropes. Ray counters with a shot to the midsection, backs off Scott Steiner. Takes him quickly down. Here we go. He is winding it up, and there's the figure 4 leg lock. Rick Steiner absolutely helpless to aid here. And he goes after Rick Steiner too. Counter shot from the midsection to the midsection from Rick Steiner, winds him up. Russian leg sweep for El Jefe. Scott Steiner is still laid out. Rick Steiner drives a knee into the arm of Ray Guns, delivers a kick to the back of the shoulder. He gets back up. Here's a kick from Ray. Here's another kick. And a moonsault for Scott Steiner that doesn't pay off. Catches knees to the midsection. Perhaps trying to take on both Steiner brothers at the same time. Not a good idea. Well, Rick Steiner with a vertical suplex on El Jefe. Slams the arm to the canvas. Rick Steiner rounds up Ray Guns. There's a headbutt that drops Ray Guns instantly. Ray rounded up to his feet again by Rick Steiner. Oh man, look at this. Nasty scoop slam. And here comes Scott Steiner again. Well, this one has gone a little bit back and forth. Kind of leaning towards the Guns brothers, but the Steiners are giving them a tough time. There's a stomp to the face. El Jefe counters with an elbow. Ooh, wow, he doubled him over pretty good. Knees to the skull for Scott Steiner. And here comes Mr. Ringside again on the tag, and, well, Scott Steiner has just been busted open. The big bad booty daddy not having a good week around here. Oh, man, big running kick from Mr. Ringside. Takes Scott Steiner down. Oh, look at this. Eddie Guns winds him up by his leg, has him up over the shoulders. There's that spinning Samoan drop. And down goes Scott Steiner. El Jefe comes in on the tag. Scott Steiner is laid out. El Jefe quickly taking advantage, covers 1, 2, 3, and that is it. The Guns brothers defeat the Steiners by pinfall, and wow, what a surprise.
The time, 10 minutes and 13 seconds. Your winners by pinfall, the Guns brothers.
Well, looking back at what we just saw, Eddie and Ray taking it to Scott and Rick Steiner in pretty impressive fashion, picking themselves up a 3-count pinfall win as the Guns family dynasty celebrates with a little bit of a high five.
Mr. Ringside and El Jefe maintaining enough of the momentum to successfully hold Scott and Rick Steiner at bay. And wow, Eddie kicked Big Papa Pump's head for a field goal, nailed him so hard that all Ray had to do was pin Scott Steiner for the 1, 2, 3. And so, it's another step in the right direction for the gold-hungry Guns brothers. Our first tag match of the night. A total hit for the fans, and a much-needed win for the Guns boys.
All right, folks, when we come back, we're going to wrap up the first hour with Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero facing Bret the Hitman Hart. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, we are wrapping up the first hour with Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero, backed by the ninth wonder of the world, China, set to face the excellence of execution, Bret the Hitman Hart, backed by Jim the Anvil Neidhart at ringside.
The following contest is set for one fall, with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, accompanied by the ninth wonder of the world, China, from El Paso, Texas, weighing 223 pounds, Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero.
Latino Heat, since reuniting with China, has been on a pretty good roll in the Legends division, and tonight, Eddie Guerrero hits something of a plateau, possibly, as he faces the excellence of execution in a battle of light heavyweights that's gonna be a fine conclusion to the first half of tonight's show. It'll be Eddie's high-flying and lying, cheating and stealing against one of the all-time greatest technical wrestlers anywhere, and calling a winner here is nearly impossible.
Not for me, it ain't. Buck Morton said from El Paso, Texas, and that was absolutely all I needed to hear. I am 100% behind Mr. Latino Heat in this matchup, much as I like Bret the Hitman Hart and everything.
His opponent, accompanied by Jim the Anvil Neidhart from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, weighing 226 pounds, Bret the Hitman Hart.
And on the flip side, the Hitman's been on something of a dry spell. We haven't seen much of him, and the last time we did, he got whomped by Rob Torres. I don't know how well he's going to do against Eddie Guerrero, but he's definitely on an even playing field. Both these guys light heavyweights, both these guys technically gifted. It's going to be a tough call, but I think Eddie Guerrero's going to pull it out. All right, a couple of legendary light heavyweights wrapping up our first hour tonight. Wow, China looks fantastic this evening, doesn't she? All right, here we go. Charles Lucero rings the bell. They come center ring. They lock up, collar and elbow. Bret Hart goes behind, rear waist lock on Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero responds with a snapmare into a rear headlock, and it drives a knee into the back of the Hitman. Kick to the midsection from Eddie Guerrero. Up goes the excellent execution into a little bitty power bomb. Not bad at all. Eddie Guerrero with a standing drop kick takes the Hitman down again. Bret the Hitman Hart catches an elbow to the chest. Jim the Anvil Neidhart got to be a little bit concerned as Eddie Guerrero makes his way to the top turnbuckle. Bret the Hitman Hart on one knee. Eddie Guerrero waiting for him to stand all the way up, changes his mind about it. Well, okay. Inverted atomic drop from Bret the Hitman Hart, who responds with a hard right. Got Eddie Guerrero up on the top turnbuckle. Oh, this is going to be bad news. Big time arm drag off the top rope from the Hitman. Bret goes for the cover. 1, 2, almost a 2. Eddie Guerrero sits back up. Bret the Hitman Hart can't believe it. Clubbing overhand right, fails to find the mark. Bret connects with the right. One arm drag from Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero with a spinning uppercut right there. Rounds up the excellence of execution. Kick to the midsection. Winds up the arm. Eddie Guerrero going to take the Hitman walkies. Takes himself up to the top rope, and another beautiful top rope arm drag from Latino Heat. Oh yeah, Eddie Guerrero's primed, and my fans in Atlanta are loving it. The Hitman out on the apron. Eddie Guerrero looks like he's going to bring him in the hard way with a long vertical suplex. Eddie Guerrero rounds up Bret Hart. Bret Hart shoves him away. Eddie Guerrero right back on the attack. Escorts Bret the Hitman Hart to the ropes. Hard whip to the opposing ropes. Eddie Guerrero slips under. Wow, that was cute. Big time Hurricane Rana. He got some air on Bret the Hitman Hart on that one. Bret the Hitman Hart not offering a whole lot of offense here. Eddie Guerrero's got him up, slams him face down. Oh man, that was gory, if you get the joke. Anyway, Eddie Guerrero with a stomp to the midsection. Winds up the arm of Bret the Hitman Hart and snaps it for good measure. Bret the Hitman Hart taking a whole lot of unanswered offense. A kick to the midsection from Eddie Guerrero. Eddie's got him up again. He's going to do it a second time. Slams him face down to the canvas. The ninth wonder of the world, China, looking on as Eddie Guerrero, who has been very, very hot since reuniting with China, is doing pretty good for himself here. I've never seen Bret the Hitman Hart get like so abused so quickly. Eddie Guerrero with a boot to the chest and a knee to the throat of the Hitman. Bret Hart counters with a jawjacker. We might finally see some offense here. Jumping Bulldog takes Eddie Guerrero down to the canvas. Bret the Hitman Hart going for the cover, hooks the leg, but not even a one. Eddie Guerrero kicking out of that one right quick. Stomp to the back of the head from Bret the Hitman Hart. The Hitman rounds up Eddie Guerrero by his ears and slams him right back down. Whoa. Huh. The Hitman finally starting to come alive here. Eddie Guerrero counters with a kick to the midsection. And whoa! Did you see the elevation on that dropkick? That was crazy. Bret the Hitman Hart makes his way back inside the ring. Rounds up Eddie Guerrero. Running Bulldog. Takes Latino Heat down. Bret the Hitman Hart finally starting to come alive here. After taking a lot of heat early on. Standing dropkick from Eddie Guerrero takes him down. Bret the Hitman Hart once again on the canvas and in trouble. Bret the Hitman Hart counters Eddie Guerrero with an elbow to the leg. Eddie Guerrero counters with a shot to the chest. Eddie Guerrero rounds up Bret the Hitman Hart again, and he's going to go for it. No. Wait a minute. Oh, crucifix powerbomb. And Bret the Hitman Hart is laid out face down on the canvas. Latino Heat rounds him up, kick to the midsection. He's got him all the way up. Whoa, man, brainbuster. Eddie Guerrero on fire this evening. Covers, hooks the leg, 1, 2, and only a 2. Bret the Hitman Hart sits himself back up. At some point, Bret the Hitman Hart has just gone beast. Eddie Guerrero takes him down with a chop block to the leg. And that just about took the wind out of Bret the Hitman Hart's sails. Eddie Guerrero moves in on the Hitman. Hard Irish whip to the ropes. Eddie Guerrero slips through the back door, and there's another Hurricane Rana with some beautiful elevation on the Hitman. Whatever rally Bret the Hitman Hart might have been planning on building is fading fast. Bret shoves Eddie Guerrero back. Standing dropkick takes Eddie Guerrero down. Bret the Hitman Hart needs to do something hot, quick, and in a hurry here. Eddie Guerrero has him up over in that crucifix position again, and oh man, another sit-out powerbomb from Latino Heat. Bret the Hitman Hart. This just is not the Hitman's night. Uppercut from Eddie Guerrero. Bret Hart rounded up to his feet again. Fireman's carry from the excellence of execution. Rounds him up. Eddie Guerrero catches a snap suplex from Bret the Hitman Hart. The Hitman trying to rally the fans here in Atlanta, and he needs all the help he can get. He's not doing too hot tonight. Eddie Guerrero with a shoulder to the midsection, and he rolls him up for a pin. How about this? 1, 2. Wow, Eddie Guerrero is absolutely lit up. Tries to get him up for a bear hug. Bret the Hitman Hart nails him with a clubbing overhand right. Misses with the clothesline. Nails him with a standing dropkick. Guerrero quickly back up on his feet though. Eddie Guerrero whipped to the ropes and elbow takes him down. Bret the Hitman Hart with the last gasp here. Catches a kick from Eddie Guerrero. And another beautiful high standing dropkick takes the Hitman down. Latino Heat all the way up on the top turnbuckle. Here we go. Frog splash, but no, knees to the midsection instead. The Hitman a little bit too quick on that one. A couple of rights. Nails Eddie Guerrero. Guerrero whips Bret to the ropes. Shoulder tackle. Flying shoulder. Takes the Hitman down. Standing drop kick to the back of the head from Latino Heat. Bret quickly back up on his feet. Eddie Guerrero countered by Bret the Hitman Hart. A snapmare from the Hitman. A elbow to the back of the head of Eddie Guerrero. And Jim the Anvil Neidhart liking what he's seeing right now. Eddie Guerrero shoves him away. Kick to the midsection from Bret the Hitman Hart. He's got him up. Eddie Guerrero counters with an elbow to the back of the head. He's got, snap suplex. And, look at here we go. The three amigos. The tripletta, the trifecta. 3 suplexes in one. And Bret the Hitman Hart is down. Here we go. 1, 2. And again, no, the Hitman refusing to give up the ship here. And Eddie Guerrero's been doing the best he can. Bret the Hitman Hart has not looked too hot this evening. The Hitman counters with a right. Misses with the crossbody. Guerrero rounds him up. Kicks to the head, takes the Hitman down again, and Latino Heat absolutely on fire right here. Bret the Hitman Hart out on the outside on the apron. Eddie Guerrero brings him in the hard way with a long vertical suplex right center ring. And now Latino Heat, with the Hitman laid out just about center ring, takes himself up topside one more time. Here it is, the frog splash. Eddie Guerrero covers 1, 2. Well, now Eddie Guerrero picking up a win over Bret the Hitman Hart by pinfall. Let's get the official time.
The time, 8 minutes and 27 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, Eddie Guerrero.
Unbelievable. I don't know what's up with Bret Hart, but Eddie Guerrero just made the excellence of Bret's execution null and freaking void. I mean, Latino Heat went all kinds of ham. I'm the Hitman, and he's got no alibi. A stellar win for Eddie, and a crushing, yes, crushing, defeat for Bret Hart. I say again, unbelievable.
I had figured this match to not only run longer than it did, but I also was expecting a bit more competition from Bret Hart. But even the best stars can have an off night, and unfortunately tonight wasn't for the Hitman.
I too have had my off nights, gentlemen, and I must tell you, I do not like having an off night. Bret the Hitman Hart damn sure had one this evening. That wraps up the first half of tonight's Rwl Sn Rl, and we'll be back with hour 2 right after this brief intermission. Hope you're still here when we get back.